Premier League title race becomes a two-horse race between Liverpool and Man City after Spurs' loss. It has taken until the end of February and a week before Shrove Tuesday, but finally the race for the 2018-19 Premier League title is a two-horse affair. After 180 goalless minutes against Bayern Munich and Manchester United, Liverpool surged back to their attacking best with 5 goals against Watford. Battered and bruised from 120 grueling minutes in the Carabao Cup final, Manchester City escaped from the visit of West Ham with 3 points thanks to a Sergio Aguero penalty. And at Stamford Bridge Tottenham's challenge finally appeared to subside, a comical Kieran Trippier own goal condemning them to a second defeat in a row, leaving them 9 points adrift of leaders Liverpool with 10 games to play. After returning to the summit on Sunday, it was a must-win game for Jurgen Klopp at Anfield, if only to arrest a run of form that had produced 3 wins and 9 in 2019. Liverpool responded in style. "That was no fun at all. It were dog-tea," mused Ben Foster afterwards. The evening began with some alarm as Jurgen Klopp named a reshuffled front three for just the 4th time in the league this season. Surprisingly, Sadio Mane began through the middle, with Divock Origi, a replacement for the injured Roberto Firmino, moving to the left. "It was our first idea," said Klopp. "We needed someone who can work in small spaces, give you something in behind and with pace. Sadio has played many positions in his career, for us too, so we knew he could do it well." And so it proved. The Senegalese continued his rich run of form to head the Reds into an early lead and doubled his tally with a sensational backheeled finish from 12 yards out, a goal more likely to grace a five-a-side Power League match than Anfield. March 3rd, Everton March 10th, Burnley March 17th, Fulham March 31st, Tottenham April 5th, Southampton. He now has 6 goals in his last 6 league games. The returning Trent Alexander-Arnold was instrumental, providing both goals for Mane and the 4th for Virgil van Dijk. He showcased the wonders of a right-back who can produce a pinpoint delivery, after James Milner's struggles at Old Trafford at the weekend. Origi made the most of his opportunity, putting in a lively shift and firing home their 3rd of the night. After conceding 5 in their previous 3, Liverpool have now registered 4 clean sheets in a row. The base upon which their title tilt has been built is returning. You look at 1 loss in 28 they've played all their main rivals away from home already, and the way they dispatched Watford today was quite comprehensive. I feel like my money's safe. Not a lot, 40 pence or something, but it's a run for my money I am getting, said Ian Wright on Match of the Day. Manchester City fielded a makeshift back four with both Aymeric Laporte and John Stones missing through injury. March 2nd, Bournemouth March 9th, Watford March 30th, Fulham April 6th, Cardiff April 14th. Crystal Palace Benjamin Mendy was a heartening sight on the bench for Pep Guardiola, for just the 2nd time since the turn of the year. As expected, Ilk Gundogan slotted in at the base of the midfield in place of the absent Fernandinho. City monopolized the ball in the first half. At one point West Ham had seen just 19% of it. But they managed to create precious little with it. Guardiola left it 10 minutes until after half-time before sending for reinforcements. Within 4 minutes of the arrival of Raheem Sterling, and then Bernardo Silva, City were ahead through Sergio Aguero's penalty. The awarding of the spot kick itself was debatable as Silva tripped under pressure from Felipe Anderson. Liverpool fans may moan it was soft. Indeed, Manuel Pellegrini said that it would be a little generous, but there was no doubting the injection of directness had West Ham's defenders scrambling. It was far from pretty from Guardiola's side in their first league outing since the 6-0 demolition of Chelsea 17 days ago. But what a time to produce just your second 1-0 win of the league campaign. Guardiola was left purring after the final whistle. It was a very hard result, but the performance was incredible. We defended perfectly the set pieces and to Andy Carroll and Michail Antonio. Had we scored 1 or 2 in the first 5 minutes the game would have been completely different, but we did very well. The game became a little bit flat. We started the second half really well. We just didn't score enough goals to make the last 15 to 20 minutes a little bit more relaxed. Harry Kane can count himself lucky not to have been sent off on Wednesday. I have experienced just how competitive these matches are, and Kane lost his cool with Cesar Azpilicueta in the first half, deliberately moving his head towards the Chelsea defender. There looked to be contact, but it does not matter how severe the contact was with Azpilicueta. Even if it was an attempted headbutt, that still carries the same punishment, a red card. The incident seemed to be missed by the match officials, and the FA could now take retrospective action against Kane. Read the full story here. For Tottenham, it was a limp and listless surrender at the home of one of their biggest rivals. "We didn't shoot," conceded Mauricio Pochettino. Indeed, he was right, for the first time under his tenure, and since December 2013, they failed to register a shot on target in the Premier League. Kieran Trippier's mix-up with Hugo Lloris for Chelsea's second, after Pedro had opened the scoring, summed up an evening to forget for Spurs. March 2nd, Arsenal H. March 9th, Southampton a March 31st, Liverpool April 7th, Brighton H. April 13th, Huddersfield H. The return of Harry Kane has failed to lift them to new heights, and they now have back-to-back defeats. Kane was off the pace and almost lost his rag. He appeared to try and headbutt Cesar Azpilicueta in the first half and was then booked for a late tangle with David Luiz. Tottenham have performed remarkably to make it this deep into the title race. Unless they can win at both Anfield and the Etihad, though, their race is done. Could their top four spot be under threat now too? They host Arsenal at Wembley on Saturday, where a third successive defeat would move the Gunners just a point behind. Pochettino did not betray any worries. "I am not afraid. I have freedom in my mind. I have the same feeling as before. If people are scared now about the top four, that is football. After 2 defeats, maybe we're not there and not content, but we need to keep going and try to be ready for the next game. But it's not a drama."